All right, so we are here for the Unsheltered Point in Time Count Surveyors Training. That's the PIT, which again is happening this Thursday morning. And this is a county-wide training, so you all are from all different parts across Alameda County. Um, we won't have time today to introduce everyone. And again, please keep your microphones on mute until the end when we have questions. Put your questions in the chat as well, and some of my helpers may elevate those. A copy of this event is going to be recorded and posted online along with the slides for today. And I will be putting those slides in the chat as well. But in the meantime, if you could introduce yourself in the chat, say maybe where you plan to be doing the surveying, whether you're going to be in North County, East County, Oakland, Berkeley, and if you are a jurisdictional lead, so if you're the head of an area, please let people know so that they know how to contact you and reach out as needed. And I'm seeing some of those coming in. Thank you. All right, so today's agenda will be talking about what is a point in time count, your role as a surveyor, how to conduct the surveys, logistics for the day of, and how to get assistance for the day of the count. In case you haven't done one of these before, the point in time count is an event that happens all across the country every year during the last 10 days of January. Every community is asked to do a count. Typically, it's a count of people in shelter programs such as emergency shelter or similar temporary programs. Um, every other year, we also go out and do a count of people experiencing unsheltered homelessness. This information is used to identify trends over time. It is both local questions created by your community and federally required questions that are coming from the Department of Housing and Urban Development. We have a lot of people who just joined us, so welcome. Again, please stay on mute and put your questions in the chat. So again, this year we are doing an unsheltered count, and that's going to be your main purpose. You are here to help us acting as surveyors to go out and canvass information and talk to people about talk to people who are living in parks, on the street, in homeless encampments, in RVs, bus stations, all these different kinds of places that are not meant for habitation. In addition, there will be program staff from emergency shelters and transitional housing and safe housing who will be talking to the people in their programs and getting the same information from those who are sheltered. We don't have to worry about that. Our part is going to be the unsheltered population. So, what is your role? As a surveyor, you will be assigned to a small team and you'll be asked to go out with your team to interview people who are experiencing unsheltered homelessness using the Counting Us mobile app. If you haven't already, go ahead and download that app on your phone and play with it. You have a couple of days left to test it out on your phone and see how it feels. Your local area leads, who are your city leads primarily, they will let you know which part of the map your team is assigned to cover. You are going to go to every place in that map, just walking up and down the streets or driving if it's more appropriate, and stopping and talking to everyone that you see who appears to be experiencing unsheltered homelessness. If they agree to take the survey with you, they will receive a thank you gift. This year in Alameda County, it's a $10 Safeway gift card. If the person refuses to talk to you, that's fine. They don't have to talk to you, but we will be doing a head count of those individuals. So you'll have a different survey in the same app where you'll be kind of taking some very limited demographic information about who you observed. And also, you will be asked to count structures, tents, or vehicles where you think someone might be living, but you weren't able to find or observe the person associated with that space. This is a quick checklist of all the things that I need to say so that you heard them. Please come on time to your meetup location. Make sure you've got the mobile app downloaded to your phone. When you're doing the surveys with the people who are unsheltered, we're going to ask for consent from that person that they're agreeing to talk to you. We're going to be friendly and respectful of people's time and their space and their belongings. We do not take pictures of the people you are interviewing or with the people you are interviewing. Um, you're going to be given a list of questions, and you need to ask those questions as they are written and do not assume that you know the answer. Remember that the people you're talking to can refuse to answer any question for any reason. And when you're talking to them, do not make any offers of things you cannot or should not provide. So, again, this is kind of a formula, but our idea is that we're going to be friendly, we're going to be welcoming to people, but we're not able to provide any resources in the surveying process. So you won't have a handout with a voucher with a solution to their problem, right? That unfortunately is for a later day, for a professional, for an outreach worker, and other staff and resources. That is not your role. Going out into the community and talking to people who are experiencing active homelessness can be very stressful for both you and the person that you're talking to. We ask that those of you who you're speaking with in this process, you are practicing what we call deep, compassionate, active listening. So you are friendly, you are open-minded, and you are listening and hearing what they say. You're not jumping to any conclusions or making any assumptions about someone. Some great examples of this are race, gender. We're not guessing. We're going to talk to the person and ask. We should be mindful when we're asking these questions, some of which will be sensitive, that our intentions and our impacts may not always match. And if they're having a negative impact, we are going to stop. Um, Remember that you are a guest in this person's space. This is where they live. This is where they work. This is not your space. So we're going to treat it with respect and treat the people that we meet with respect at all times. And then finally, for those of us who are doing this work, you might talk to 10 people. You might talk to 20 people. You could be out there for a couple of hours. You might start to get tired. These are, again, really difficult conversations sometimes, and that is okay. So we're going to ask you to continue to check in with your team, lean on your team, and perhaps take turns and rotate through the day as you are working with people. Maybe you can switch to being the phone person and writing everything down while the talker is talking, or switch around in different ways during the day. It is okay to take breaks, and it is okay if you need to leave early. You just got to communicate with your team and with your local lead who is handling that area. All right, so that was a lot, and we have had a lot of people join us, so welcome. I'm just going to reiterate quickly that this meeting is being recorded, so if you missed the first few minutes, that will be posted to the help page And I'm going to put a link to the help page in the chat. Okay. And I'm also going to add a copy of the slides right now, if I can do that. Thank you for your patience. So I'm putting both the slides and our question list into the chat so you all can reference that on your own time. Okay, so I'm going to keep going because this is recorded. There's a lot of talking. Next up is how to use the survey app, Counting Us. So again, if you haven't downloaded yet, please go ahead and download it. In order to log into the app on your own phone, you first need to register online at alameda.pointintime.info. If you did not register online first and you try to log into the app, you're going to get a request for a setup key. That's your trigger. You did it wrong. Go back and log in and register on this website. Once you have the website, sorry. All right, so there's your registration website in the chat. Once you've registered online and downloaded the app and you've logged into the app, you should be able to see this screen. So it's got a list of different questions. It says pre-count mode at the top because we haven't opened it yet. And at the bottom, there are menu buttons. The menu buttons can show you different surveys you can do. It'll have you a space where you can hold on to draft surveys in case you get interrupted during the day of the count. It'll have a map, a My Count area, and a help button with some FAQ questions. Survey mode is the most important part. And again, like right now, you are able to go in and do fake surveys. So you can survey yourself, survey your daughter, survey whoever, and practice so that you get the hang of using the app and you can click through the different screens. This should turn off tomorrow evening. So you've got today and tomorrow to practice. The most important one is the unsheltered survey. Our goal as a survey group is to get as many of these as we can. When you're talking to people who are unsheltered, you're going to ask them if you have their consent to do the survey. And then you click on I am interviewing a person. If you click on I am interviewing a person, it will open the full survey and it'll go through the entire list of questions that are relevant. If you've clicked I am interviewing a person and it gets you past the first screen where you're able to start answering and asking questions, they are eligible for a thank you gift. Again, do not make any assumptions and ask every question that shows up, but they can skip any question at any time. They can end the survey early, and they are still eligible for the thank you gift because they agreed to talk to you. This is what those first screens will look like. You'll log in, you'll tap I am interviewing a person. It will ask you for English or Spanish. If you choose Spanish, it'll show everything on the screen in Spanish, so you can point for people or whatever works best for you. And then select individual or household. So individual means I'm talking to one person. Household means I'm talking to uh, the representative of the small group of people who are living together, right? So they could be a couple. They don't have to be married. They could be with or without children. It could be a small group of children. But if it's a group of people living together, that's the household. And that'll change a little bit what questions are asked in the next phase. So after you've gone through that, it will ask you to confirm your location is correct. It's going to pop up the map of where you're currently standing. This will only work if you have location services turned on your cell phone. And that's really important. We want it to work for you. We don't want you to have to type in addresses by hand. So make sure your location services is on. Then you get a script, which helps you introduce yourself and ask for that consent. So you can read that aloud. And it will ask where the person is sleeping, just to confirm that they are, in fact, meeting the definition of unsheltered. And then it will continue into the demographics question. Everything collected in this survey is self-reported data. So we were asking and listening. We're not correcting or changing any of the answers that they give us. If you're not sure or they're not sure, you can always show the phone and read aloud what the possible choices are. After the demographic questions, there will be more questions about homeless history and residency. So how long have they been homeless? How many times? And then this questions start to get more and more sensitive. We have a reminder in here, if the sensitive question you don't want to answer, that's fine. They can skip any question at any time and still get their gift card, and they can stop the survey entirely and still get the gift card. You as a surveyor will just submit a partial. At the end of the survey, please thank the person for their time and give them the gift card. And then there's a notes box. And the notes box is for you in case there's something you think we should know, something interesting about the location or the situation. The internal team will see that. Um, so this is our other category. Overall, we're hoping that the questions will take about 10 minutes. If you did it in 2024, yes, it is a very similar length of questions. Um, so I think we're running about 38 questions max if somebody pops up for everyone. But not every person will have a pop-up for every single question. All right, so again, please hold your questions for the end and we will come back to them. And if you think you're going to forget, put it in the chat. The second type of survey is the unsheltered observation tally. So this is used if you saw a physical person, but they didn't want to talk to you, or for whatever reason, they were unable to talk to you. In this case, you're going to get a much shorter version of the survey. You're going to click, I am observing a person, and it will start an observation tally. It's going to ask you why the full interview can't be conducted. And this is not a judgment thing. Like we're not going to track you and the number that you were able to complete. We're just curious what's going on. Um, you will then record whatever you're able to observe as best as possible. And we know this section is guesses, and we will be treating it as such, right? So we're going to take this information with a grain of salt because we don't know for sure. There's no thank you gift to give out when a person is not agreed to talk to you. So you don't do a gift card at the end of this one. And this is what it'll look like in the app. So you click, I am observing a person, individual or household, confirm that your location is accurate. It'll ask why. You'll get some very basic guesstimate questions in here and notes. All right, and now this is our third type of survey. The third type of survey is vehicle/makeshift shelter tally. In this kind of survey, it's because we are observing a physical structure that we think someone is living in, but we cannot see the person, or we haven't been able to locate the person wandering around outside of the vehicle, right? So if you can see the person inside, or you can engage with the person outside. Um, do the other surveys, right? This is only for empty, couldn't find, we're not sure. So you would click on I am observing a vehicle or structure to start this one. And it's going to give you some basic questions about the vehicle or structure. And it will ask you to justify why you think someone is using it for experiencing homelessness. And this is where your judgment comes into play, right? So maybe you saw some evidence of a fire nearby. Somebody was trying to keep warm outside of this tent. Or it looks recently occupied, but you couldn't quite identify, where the person had gone. Maybe there's some bedding material that looks fresh. This is going to be up to you and your judgment. And if you'd like to leave us notes, feel free. In the app, it'll be the same process where you are clicking, I am observing a vehicle or structure, confirming your location, and some space for brief questions and notes. On this one, it's important to note that we will ask for vehicle license plate if it's a vehicle, an RV of some type. If you're not able to see that, we ask that you put in 4 zeros. 000, couldn't get the license plate. Maybe there wasn't one, or maybe it was obstructed. Um, but we're just going to do our best to keep track of these. We'll use that information later to make sure that the same vehicle did not get counted more than once. While we're on the topic of vehicles, and I do see a little bit about this in the chat, um, we are not asking you all to wake anybody up or like rouse them out of their home. Like that's not part of our process. All you have to do is reasonably announce yourself from a safe distance. If you'd like to knock on the car, we recommend that you knock on the hood, not the side door or the window, because that will startle people. But you don't have to knock more than once, right? This is a gentle survey. And we are fully expecting that not everyone will want to talk to us. That is okay. But a reasonable effort. Hello, I'm Kim. I'd like to talk to you from a safe distance. Quick knock. Give it a second. That's all we're asking. All right, so we're going to do a couple of practice examples. So in this example, I'm going to ask you to, in your head, imagine of these 3 happy people on the screen, what type of survey would you use on them? Our first guy is saying, no thanks, I'm not interested in taking a survey. The second guy says, yes, I will answer the survey. And the third guy is asleep and he doesn't want to be disturbed. Or maybe I've announced myself from a safe distance and he didn't wake up. You don't have to shake him on the shoulder. Please do not do that. God, don't touch anybody. Okay, so how would you do tallies for these folks?
Yellow.
All right, now here are your answers. So the happy smiley guy who says, yes, I will answer the survey questions. We're doing the I'm interviewing someone button, and that will give us a full unsheltered survey. For the other 2 who said no, or who was asleep, I saw a physical person, so I'm clicking, I see someone. I'm observing someone, and I'll do an observation tally. So all 3 people are still getting counted. So here are some scenarios with vehicles and tents. In this one, we have a car, and it looks like someone is living in the vehicle, but we can't see inside. Honestly, you'll probably see a few of these where people have obstructed the windows. They put up screens and things. Then we've got a tent, and it looks like the people in the tent are asleep. And then finally, we've got people in a car, We can see them and they're talking to us. Yes, they will answer the survey questions. So what kind of survey should we be using in the app? All right, so here we go. The people who are in the car that you can see and they are agreeing to talk to you, that's a regular, I'm interviewing someone unsheltered survey. Just because they're in the car doesn't mean we do a vehicle survey. And you don't want to double survey anybody. So it's just the one unsheltered survey I am interviewing. The fact that they're in a vehicle will be captured in there. This one's got two people in the car, so it'll be a household survey. For the green one, it looks like everyone is asleep in the tent. You can see the people inside the tent. You could even maybe get a head count. Is it one person asleep in there that you can see, right? They've got the door open. We're using our imaginations on these icons. If you can see the person inside the tent and they're asleep, but they're not interested in talking to you or they don't want to wake up, we are doing an observation tally. It's the head count of a person. Um, Again, you don't want to double count them. So you don't do a tent survey. You're just doing the I observed a human survey. And the third situation where you've got a car and you can't see inside, in that one, we don't know how many people are in there. It could be 0, it could be 7. Because of that, we do the vehicle tally. And that will be treated differently in the back end. It'll get all kinds of calculations and estimates of how many people we're going to apply to that vehicle that you saw. And it's really important that those are treated differently. So I hope that helps. This is really important. Here's your checklist of what it means to be a great surveyor. You, as a great surveyor, will know how to choose the correct survey type. And if you're not sure, ask your team lead, ask the jurisdictional lead. We don't want you putting in incorrect data all day long. You're going to try to keep the survey to about 10 minutes. And part of this is avoiding long stories with the folks that you're talking to, avoiding promises of assistance. And remember that they can have the gift card even if the person doesn't want to answer all the questions. You ask your questions clearly and with simple language, friendly, listening for understanding. You are going to be compassionate, actively listening, remembering you're a guest in everyone's space, and taking breaks, acknowledging when your own cup is full. Now, when you go into the list of questions, which I've got the PDF in the chat and you can open up and see right now in your app, you will see that some of the questions might be tricky. I've got a couple here I want to highlight. First off, yes, we were asking both sex and gender. The difference is the options. Sex has only male and female. Gender has male, female, and about 6 other options. Those are two different things. We're going to be reporting that separately to different groups and different reports. So we are collecting it separately. Again, don't guess or make any assumptions on these. A lot of the questions will be sensitive, especially the deeper you go into the survey. So if they start to get tired, it's okay. They can skip some questions. If they don't want to share, if it's too personal, it's fine. Some that we know are sometimes sensitive, we're going to ask, do you have a substance use disorder? So that's use of alcohol or drugs or whatever that causes significant impairment to them. And are you currently experiencing homelessness due to fleeing domestic violence? We're going to ask, we don't have any resources. One of the questions in there is about address. So we ask, do you remember the address or city where you were living when you became homeless this time? It is okay if they don't remember the full address, even if we can just get a city a street crossing, a street without a street number. This is still good data for us. So any partial information is great here, and it's no pressure if they don't have 100%. And then finally, we ask about their interactions with criminal justice system, and it lists on there parole, probation, court appearances, tickets, different kinds. Juvenile justice is
Okay.
also one of the kinds that we are asking about. If they choose to share that with you, you can check the box. Yes, they've had an interaction. If they don't choose to share it with you, we're not pushing. All right. And then I mentioned earlier that there's a drafts box in the menu. If you're in a situation where you have lost signal, like if you're out at the beach or someplace far away from cell service or Wi-Fi, you can continue surveying. And instead of clicking submit at the end of the survey, you click save draft. And at the end of the day, when you've finished all the surveying for the day, you can go back to your deployment center, get on the Wi-Fi, get on the cell service, and hit submit on all of those surveys, and all the data will be saved there for you. All right, finally, we're going to go over logistics and safety. So on the morning of the pit count, what I want you to do is open up your app and go to the My Count button. The My Count menu at the bottom will show all the details of where you've been assigned and where you're supposed to show up for your team meetup. And when you get to the deployment center, you want to meet with the person in charge of the deployment center, the person in charge of your team, and make sure you get your assignments clear. You will have access to the map in the app as well, which should tell you where you're going. But you want to get to the deployment center and make sure you have a contact person so that if you have to stop early, you know who to call, who to talk to, and general expectations. I'm asking you to open it in the app on the day of, just in case there's a discrepancy. Your local jurisdiction leads are making teams now and doing assignments now of where people will be going throughout the county, and there may be some last minute shifts. Bring with you a fully charged phone or tablet and practice with the app before you show up so that you don't have any delays. Wear comfortable shoes like boots, weather appropriate clothing in bright colors. If you are going to be one of the drivers, make sure you bring a car and anything else that you might need specific to your jurisdiction. I know each jurisdiction is a little bit different. We've got some areas that are more rural where there will be more driving, and some areas that'll be more walking. Please do not wear anything that will be distracting or keep you from connecting with the community. So that especially means like flashy jewelry, funny t-shirts, things that are going to get in the way. You really want to be neutral and visible. Focus on clothing that accommodates the weather, staying hands-free, and having the supplies that you actually need, like masks, hand sanitizers, maybe some gloves. It might be chilly on Thursday, that sort of thing. Again, your team will have either a walking route or a driving route. You need to continue doing the count until you have visually assessed and attempted to survey everyone in your assigned area. And keep in touch with the team lead or your jurisdictional lead from the deployment center so that they know if you are either finishing early or running late. If you finish early, you might be asked to redeploy, right? So we might have some special need for additional volunteers to go someplace else. If you're willing to do that, that will probably be very helpful, and we would like to know about it. If your area is running late for whatever reason, maybe you encountered a ton more people than you were expecting, or maybe there was a bridge out, I don't know. Um, we want you to let us know that you're running late, and your deployment center will tell you whether you should keep going, like it's okay, take another 2, 3 hours, or uh, show us exactly on the map the areas you went and the areas you couldn't go. So that's something we want you to keep track of while you're doing the canvassing, is where did you go, where didn't you go, so that we can send a follow-up team either through those extra volunteers who said they finished early or through later follow-up days. We've got a couple of like extra days to send cleanup teams and make sure we didn't miss any areas. But we need to know exactly which areas you didn't hit. And then finally, um, imagine you've got a team of 4 people and 3 of them are exhausted, they're going to stop. But the fourth person wants to keep going. Communicate, yeah, us 3, we're going to stop. Tell your team lead. But that fourth person needs to go back and get redeployed with another team. They can't continue the counting process alone. So again, about safety, as you're going through, you're going to announce yourself loudly from a distance. People might not be expecting you. You don't have to knock if it doesn't seem logical. Um, this is a gentle count. You're not required to wake anybody up. You don't have to knock on the tent. Unzipping tents or removing items to try to gain access to a place is absolutely unacceptable, right? This is their home. We're not trying to invade their home. Do not trespass on private property. We're going on public property, publicly accessible areas. And if you happen to be trying to do a survey near a highway or on an off-ramps, please be alert and aware of moving vehicles. You are not asked to go anywhere unsafe. And if you're looking at somebody who's in an unsafe area and you want to talk to them, you can encourage them to come to you, get them away from the unsafe thing. Or if that's not working, you do the observation tally. I saw someone, I couldn't reach them. I saw a tent, I couldn't reach it. Okay? We don't want you to put yourself at risk. Just do what's reasonable. At the end of the shift, tell your lead that you're finished. They might want you to come back and physically give them back supplies. I know some of the areas give out vests, some will have badges. You might have additional gift cards left over because they gave you 50 and you only did 45 surveys. Those 5 gift cards come back to the deployment center. Submit any draft surveys that you were unable to submit due to the service issues. And let us know areas where you were able to go versus unable to go. And we're really curious if you find no one as well. So tell us like, hey, I canvassed this whole area, I found no one. And you physically telling us helps us confirm that we don't have any dots on this map for that area, but we did send someone. Okay, so you physically telling us is kind of the only way we can tell that it wasn't just a blip and got missed. If you need help during the count, this is the hierarchy. You are a surveyor, you ask your team lead. If the team lead doesn't know, they ask their jurisdictional lead who's running that city or that deployment center. If they can't figure it out, SimTech team will be available for support, and there's a process where the jurisdictional leads can contact us. If it's an easy question, it might be in the FAQ. So you can check the help button at the bottom of your app. It could be in there. And in the slide deck, you'll see there's a bunch of helpful links. We have a website dedicated to Alameda County volunteer resources where the training recording will be posted. We have additional short trainings that are all about the app, as well as some handouts. We've got some FAQ pages and additional information about how to talk to people with sensitivity and compassion. But thank you all so much for listening to me go through all of that. Now is the fun part, um, where you can come off mute and ask questions. And if we have any in the chat, I'm going to take a quick look in there and see if there's anything to bring up. But thank you, really. Thank you for doing this. Yeah, Talia, please. Talia, I can't hear you, so I'm not sure what's going on. For now, we'll go to Camilla.
Hi. I asked a question in the chat, but I'll ask it here. I got an email with a count location and meetup point that's different than the one that's in the app. How do I know which one I should follow?
Whoever emailed you, you should email them back and let them know that it's not matching. And
Okay,
they can tell you whether you've been reassigned since then or if they still need you and that there's a problem they need to correct for their app information.
great. Thanks.
Yep. John, I think you're next.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for this explanation. This has been great, and I'm enthused to help out with this. It's going to be dark at from 5 a.m. till around 7:30. Do you recommend we walk with flashlights, or what's your recommendation in the early morning?
Yeah, I would say flashlights, but keep them down and don't point them at any tents or into any windows. Like if you're, don't point them into cars, all right? Like, no. Um, it is normal for most of these jurisdictions to be a little bit slow to get out. So you might
Okay,
be meeting at 5, but you're probably leaving at 5:30 or 5:45. And then as the day gets later, we're expecting to see more and more interviews come in because the earlier ones should be more observations, more people asleep.
gotcha.
So we
Thank
know
you.
that. Um, yeah, but a flashlight would be good. David. David, oh,
David
there you go.
Bellman, or I forget yeah.
Yes, Bellman.
Okay. So, yeah, I wasn't allowed in the earlier parts of the meeting. I guess I got here about 15, 17 minutes in.
Sorry about that.
If I watch the recording, will I get uh, the good information that I need?
Yes, and you can also take a look at the slide deck. I'll put that back in the chat again if that is helpful for you. But the recording will be posted online later today.
Yes, and my apologies for that. It was a quick
Thanks.
support issue with Zoom for those that weren't able to join originally. We did have the recording for the last week's already posted. So we did a similar training last week. That's already on the jurors. So we have a page just for surveyors. I'll put the link back in the chat again. But just wanted to let you know that we also have it right now if you don't want to wait until this recording is posted.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. I got Talia put her question in the chat. She was asking if you've got a team surveying an individual, should the whole team input one survey into the app or one per surveyor? And it's just one per team. So if you've got 4 people, you probably only need one with the app open and one talking to the person. But if you're working a busy area, you might have more than one phone out and be doing 4 interviews at a time if you're in a real busy area. So it's one interview per person you spoke to, and you should not do it twice. I hope that's clear.
And could I add, Kim, also that you would still give care packages to every person in that group because the app itself will just replicate the survey for each individual. So they should still get credit, each individual, for taking a survey. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. So like if you're doing a household survey and it's, I don't know, a guy and 2 kids, you can hand out 3 gift cards because we're counting 3 people in that household. Even though you're talking to just the head of household, we're finishing information about all those folks.
And what are the gift cards? Sorry.
It's $10 to Safeway.
Okay.
Yep. Celia, I believe you were next.
Good afternoon. Thanks so much for this training. I was also one of the ones that joined late, so sorry if I missed this.
Okay.
I have an opportunity. I didn't realize my office, the Office of the City Attorney, is actually doing a group thing, and I had separately signed up on my own. Is it too late to move, or is it, I don't want to make it inconvenient, but are we able to switch assignments, or is it better
You
at
can
this point to
still
just
switch
sit?
assignments. The best way to do that is to email the team lead you've got designated, whoever that is, it should show up in your app,
Yeah,
and the help desk. So we have a special help desk set up that can work with you on that.
perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Um, Shalou.
Yeah, hi. I wanted to ask that I was trying to sign in for the Counting Us app and it said that your email is already registered. So is there like a default password that's been?
If it's the first time logging in, you might have to click the password reset button,
Okay.
and that'll be how you set your password for the first time.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, give it a try.
Yeah, if you register through the volunteer registration portal at alameda.pointintime.info, that is your account information. Whatever email you use there, use for the app.
Okay.
I did have to change my passport as you suggested when I logged on for the first time.
Yeah. Okay. Sam.
Do you mind sharing the help desk email that you mentioned?
Yeah, hopefully one of my SimTech
Oh,
friends.
actually, Kim, I just want to clarify. We're using the jurisdictional leads just to help because we have over 1,000. We have 1,200 people signed up for the count, and so we're using cascading responsibility. So work with your jurisdictional lead, which is that'll be information will be found in the My Account section of the app if you don't know it already. And then if they still can't help you, they'll reach out to us.
Yeah, technically they should
For
be able.
for the um, area you're in or the area you're hoping to move into?
Okay, if you have you need to do a transition to
Yeah,
switch
just for
emails.
the referring to the team question.
Yeah, you can go back to the area you're in, and they can coordinate with the other area, so that there's a little bit of moving parts. I need 4 people. Can you help me? This other community has too many, so we do have a little bit of that. And if you don't need know who to reach out to, if you want to message me directly, I'll give you the information. I'm Matt Simmons in the chat.
Can I ask I can't seem to raise my hand. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that
Okay.
Natalie?
Natalie, yes. I've been working with the app fine so far, but it says, how do I get it to start fresh? It says, do I want to sign out? Well, I don't think I want to sign out, do I? And it just, I just sort of, it says account updated, okay. And then it just goes back to my information, but how do I get it back to the beginning?
Try, can you see the blue bar at the bottom of the app with the different buttons down there?
It's
This
at the
there's one
top.
at
Oh,
the bottom, there should be one for surveys.
I can't see anything. Maybe at the top, when I press the top three dots, it just says account or sign out. I don't see what you're saying and nothing at the bottom.
Okay, I'm not sure.
I'm checking to see if we have your registration.
Yeah, I think you do because it says I'm on the team. Natalie Nussbaum,
Okay, I'll look
in the
there.
Berkeley team.
Yeah. In the meantime, Sabrina?
Hi. So someone was asking about in the chat about if they're not a Spanish speaker, how would they approach it if they someone else informed them that there is a Spanish option for questions, but I think they're more worried like they wouldn't be able to read off the Spanish. I also know in Fremont, we have a number of deaf individuals who are literate in our community. I think I would be comfortable with actually like holding my phone so that they can read the questions and then select their own answers. So I'm wondering if that wouldn't be also a good option if you're speaking with someone who speaks Spanish and you do not.
Yeah, that can be a good option. It's really going to be up to you on the fly
Lead.
and what you're comfortable with as far as holding your phone
Yeah.
and or reading awkwardly some language that you don't speak very well.
And then,
Um,
understanding their reply to put it in is also tricky if
yes,
it's a language you don't know.
yes. And so your fallback is the observation survey.
Got
And
it.
if it really you're doing your best and it's not making sense and it's not working, you go roll back and pretend they didn't want to talk to you and you just head count them. So you get the basics.
Got
And
it.
I
Okay.
don't remember if language is in there as one of the questions. It might be, but if it's not, you might want to put it in the notes.
Okay.
You know, language barrier, which language kind of thing.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
And then, depending on resources, there may be some follow-up. We'll see.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. Um, Avi, yes, everyone will be grouped, and hopefully we can coordinate so that we don't have a whole group of newbies, but that'll be up to your local jurisdiction lead on how you get grouped. Izu, you're next.
Hi, thank you very much. So on the app, I'm looking at under the region members. I'm looking at myself. My name is showing not ready, so I don't know how to get around that. And I've done the registrations and everything I'm supposed to do, but I'm seeing under my name showing red and not ready. Thank you.
That's a good question. So the count actually isn't active yet. So we're in pre-count mode. So everyone, so there's that part, but and there under the My Count section of the app, you should be able to, once the count is made active, indicate when you first log in that you're there, or a team leader can do that on your behalf. If you're so everyone's going to be assigned to a team ideally. Not every region might use this functionality, but for some of you, especially the higher populated areas, you'll have a team leader, and part of their job is to help make sure that that's toggled on or off. It does not affect if you somehow get past that piece. It's more for information for planning purposes for the jurisdictional leads. You can still submit surveys and observation tallies, and it won't affect anything. It's more as a guide to make sure we have effective coverage.
Maeve Griffin, if you are able to come off mute and ask your question.
Okay. Um,
Yeah, hi.
yeah. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay. Yeah, I can't find the hand. I wanted to ask, um, in my experience being unhoused or in an unhoused community, the populations of people tend to actually be around their areas between the times of like 11:30 at night to about 6 a.m. And then some people go to work and other people go to bed. And so it seems to me that we're kind of slightly off the schedule of the unhoused. How is that going to affect the count? Um, how is this timing uh, uh, considered? Like, who thought
Yeah,
of that?
there's always pros and cons to picking the timing.
Hmm.
The PIT planning team is the one that makes that decision each year. And this will be the second time that we do it in the morning. So we did it in the morning in 2024 on the last unsheltered count. And we
Right.
ended up with numbers that made sense, that felt reliable. We know that some people will be going to work or moving around, and that's just one of the cons of choosing a morning time, but there's a lot of pros as well for like having more daylight, having more safety, being more
Mm,
sure that the people we see are actually unhoused and not just out for the evening.
mm.
It's always a balance of pros and cons, and morning was the choice for this year.
Right. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, at least it's going to be consistent. So we'll have a trend from 2024 to 2026 that we can say.
Right. By my estimation, I live down by Wood Street, so uh, just I mean, it's just my consideration in my experience, and I've been down here like 13 years. That the amount of people that are out usually in the evenings to visit friends or see family or just driving through or whatever, they tend to not. I mean, the percentages are really low. I mean, it's I live in an area where there's roughly about 200 people, 300 people, and it's they're you want to be up at night. I mean, I'm not debating, whether you guys are doing it right or wrong. I am concerned that the count reflect the real accuracy because Wood Street area has always been, at least for the last 13, 14 years, very populated with unhoused people. And when it was really up and running, we had 350 people living at Wood Street itself. And
Yeah,
and most of those people are still around, like within a 4 block area, 5 block area.
right.
And they go to sleep when they're tired early in the morning, and it's freezing cold, so nobody really can sleep.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that was my only concern.
Well,
But
and the point in time count itself, like the nature of it being a 1 day snapshot, will never be perfectly accurate. For areas like Wood Street, where we really have a more established population, the accuracy is going to be more in like our outreach work, in our, year-round work. We'll have better information about that. So we'll be able to see and compare and get a sense of it.
okay, because the whole reason why I'm bringing it up is because there is an issue with the outreach and programming and stuff reaching people. Um, I don't want to complain and be like a Downy Clowny, but I
Oh,
might,
yeah. Yeah, those are just the two tools that we have.
right, okay. After the count, is there somebody that I can speak with about future counts or the situation in hand? Because I know that the county is going to be allocating a big chunk of money coming through to the area, and I'm excited about that. But I'm also a little concerned as well because there's more competition to give services, but a lot of times services don't ever get down here, and
Yeah,
it's been
I would
disappointing.
say there's probably the best place to talk about that would be at the continuum of care that is in
Mhm.
charge of coordinating
Fantastic. Okay,
community interactions. So I can put their email address in the chat.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, we've got a bunch more questions, so I'll stay on for a bit of extra time, but if anybody needs to go, we are technically at time. Jim, I cannot hear you. Can you come off of mute? Yes.
I've noticed that some unhoused people have dogs, sometimes fierce dogs, for protection. And I'm wondering if you can say something about approaching such folks.
You want to announce yourself from a safe distance, and if they have a dog with them, that distance may be further.
Can you can you carry treats?
Thank you.
I mean that's up to you. I don't know. Yeah. Sorry, Jim. It's a case by case basis, I think.
It's always good to ask before you give a dog treats, just in case of dietary restrictions.
Yeah, right. And if it doesn't feel safe, you do the observation, of course. Whether you couldn't get contact or they had contact, but it didn't make sense, observation is fine. Catherine.
Yes, thank you so much for a great presentation. It's my first time to do it, and I really appreciate all the information you gave. I have one question. Do most of the unhoused person know that that survey is happening?
We're trying to communicate through outreach teams and other teams that are engaged with the community. Some places have put up flyers giving
Okay.
notice that the point in time count will be happening and you might see surveyors. it's going to vary on space to pace whether the word got out. But if you've got connections, please tell people that we're coming. They might leave for work a little bit later that day so that they can talk to us and get that gift card.
Mm-hmm. And then on the app, I went to my assignment team members. So I'm the only one active right now because I'm the only one on the app, right? But I have the name of my team leader and I can contact her if needed, right?
Yes, and you should be expecting to meet with the team at the deployment center. And if there's no shows happening, that's when you'll be adjusting the team and making sure that you have a group when you go out.
Great.
But that active, inactive doesn't necessarily mean anything right now.
Okay, good. Thank you so much.
Yeah. LaShonda.
Are we able to switch groups? And if so, how do we do that? I don't know if that was already answered.
Yeah, so email the head of the group that you're currently assigned to. So if I'm currently assigned to Hayward, I'm emailing Amy Colbloom, I think is in charge of Hayward this year. And it should say who's in charge of your area right now. If you're not sure, put it in the chat and I can find out for you who's in charge of your area right now. But it should say you want to email them and ask for a transfer.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Sophie, I see there are some that are still assigning groups now. The leads in charge of the areas are making those assignments today, tomorrow. So you have a general region, but you may get a different team assignment in the next couple of days. Christy.
I just dropped my question in the chat. I'm a team lead, but this is also my very first time doing a pit count. And so I saw that there's a 2-minute video, but there's really not much information in there other than like how to use the app. So if I could get some more specific instruction around like how to get gift cards, how to clarify with my team, where to meet, because the app's got multiple locations sending us to. So I could use some more
So you're
specifics.
volunteering in Berkeley, and I know Josh Jacobs is the contact leading Berkeley, if you've got his email address. If it's saying that you're assigned to the distribution center at Ashby BART Station, you can safely show up at Ashby BART Station. But if you're not sure, I would say email Josh and confirm.
Can someone give me his email? I don't know. I don't have that.
Yes, I'll send it to you in a direct message. And then there is he's probably going to be handing out gift cards right there, but it might be each jurisdiction is in charge of how they hand out those gift cards. So
yeah, folks can come pick them up directly with me at my office. Hey. Or they can pick them up the morning of at the deployment center, which is the First Congressional Church. And that's what's listed in the app.
Could you reach out to Christy and give her your email address as well?
Of course. Yep.
Oh, great.
Thank you.
Perfect. Stephanie.
Hi. Yeah, I had a question, wanted some advice on if while we're interviewing somebody, they ask for some kind of help or resources. Will we have anything in terms of a list of handouts or numbers or something that we can then offer or leave behind?
We haven't organized that sort of thing at the county level. Your local jurisdiction might have something like that, but we don't have anything for everyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kim, if I could chime in here, for a lot of people, the best resource you give them, at least for now, is for people to call 211, which will connect them to Eden INR. That they have the most up-to-date information on housing and services in the county. Unfortunately, we don't have enough to meet the need, but that's probably the best resource to give to people.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for confirming, Riley. All right, anybody else?
And Yeah, this is Natalie again. I don't
Sure.
want to waste everybody's time, but could I have Josh Jacobs' email also?
It's in the main chat, actually. If you scroll up a little bit, Josh put it in there very helpfully for everyone.
Can we see who Josh is?
What do
Yes,
you
hang
mean?
on one
Josh
second.
should
Yeah.
come off camera.
Hi, everyone. Josh Brickley. I have emailed all of our teams directly, so you should have an email from me already. If you're not seeing that, reach out to me. But if you do a search for my email, you should have something already.
Yeah, I just wanted to be sure because I do have some questions, but thank you. I'll find it.
Of course.
Right.
Can I just jump in really quickly that this meeting is, if I'm not wrong, specifically for the Alameda County point in time count. So if there are people in this meeting from Lawton, Oklahoma, you're in the wrong place.
Interesting. Let's see, we got a couple more questions here.
There was a question about people trying to get a hold of count team leads and knowing who the points of contact are. And so within the My Count section of the app, so once you download the Counting S app, you log in with the information you used to register. There's a My Count section on the bottom if it doesn't come up right away. If you open that up, you'll see the word count assignment. That's actually a link. If you tap on that, there's a little bit more details there about where to go, when to go, and who you're counting with. There's a members tab, and that will have the information about who you're with.
All right. Let's see. We had Jet come off of mute. Lynette came off of mute. Do y'all have questions?
Yeah, I do have follow-up questions. So I checked the app. It mentioned where we are we meeting. So is that means we can meet like City Hall? We can meet the group lead. So can we meet the group lead at the meeting location?
Yes.
Okay. So
Yes.
that yeah, hold on. Okay. Go
I
ahead.
think Oakland is starting at 5 a.m. So it should tell you the time that they're starting on there. And that's when you would want to show up and they'll be getting everyone paired with their groups and supplies.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm. Anyone else?
Yeah, hi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't, I'm sure it was mentioned, but I'd like to know where my meetup location is. I'm in West Oakland. Is it St. Mary's? Is that right?
I believe West Oakland is starting in St. Mary's. I believe that's correct.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. I know St. Mary's is one of their Oakland deployment areas.
I just don't want to get the wrong spot and miss everything.
Yeah, no, they've got 3 of them. If you go to St. Mary's and you're supposed to be at City Hall, that won't be an issue, but I forget the third location.
Who's my lead?
That I don't have memorized, but I could look it up and it should show on your My Counts.
On my what?
If you go in the app at the
Uh-huh.
bottom, there's a button for My Count and it should show in there.
Okay. I'll look. Thank you.
Yep. Anything else outstanding in the chat that we need to cover?
Uh, Hello?
Yes.
Yes, I have on my app, I says who the count leaders are, but I don't have can't find anywhere else. Like, do they have emails or is there I just got to meet them that day.
You might just meet them that day. A lot of the count leaders have sent emails to their volunteers already. Like Josh sent an email blast. I know Amy has sent some. Most of your team leads probably have already sent out mass emails to everyone who's registered. So you could try searching for their name in your
Okay.
email address.
Okay.
But if you don't have any questions, it's okay to just show up at the deployment center on time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
They know you're coming. All right. Well, I think I'm going to stop the recording at this point and we'll wrap it up. Again, thank you so much for participating in the training today and for volunteering for your early Thursday morning. We really appreciate it. This is going to be very helpful information that we're going to collect for the community.
Great, thank you.